What is going on, everyone? It is Tyler McKinney back here again, and today we're getting back into the XFL. Of course we are. Why would you think anything different? Oh well. Anyways, if it's your first time here, glad to have you. If you're a return viewer, thanks for coming back and thanks for watching more videos. And if you haven't yet, consider subscribing. Seriously, it is just fun to have all of you guys, and all of you guys who are subscribed, all of you guys who aren't subscribed. I don't really care. I'm just glad that you're here. I'm glad that you're part of this community. I'm glad that you're participating. And if you're not participating, why not? Because we're just a fun bunch of great people that love talking about the XFL and other topics like that. And I just love interacting with you guys, getting your thoughts, getting your comments, because you guys come up with some really, really good ones. And speaking of really good ones, Clayton, I want to mention him. Clayton, you were the first one to mention Steve Spurrier, and I appreciate that. And I want to give credit where credit was due, and I told you I would. And so I am. And so I want to just give you a quick little shout out and say thank you. I think Steve Spurrier would be a great addition, and they really need to go after him. They really need to get him. And so, yeah. And speaking of comments, I've kind of got this quite a few times, and I want some input from you, the viewers, on what your thoughts are. A lot of people have been commenting and asking me, Tyler, do you do a podcast? Can you do this as a podcast? Could you, maybe do this in some type of an audio format, something like that? And I haven't really decided what to do with that. I'm really kind of sitting here asking your thoughts and your opinions. Maybe I'll put a poll together, but leave me a comment down in the comments section. Let me know what you think. And it might be something to where I'm thinking about. Maybe if I do like a daily podcast where I talk about things for about an hour, they might not be the videos, might not be the exact stuff from the videos, but maybe some supplemental content, some stuff that, maybe even be like membership stuff, where I, create it on Patreon or whatever, where daily I go through and can kind of give you guys that. And, let me know down in the comment section what you think, what your thoughts are. Would you like it as a podcast? Would you like a podcast? Would you pay for a podcast? And what would you pay and that with it? I'm really looking into that type of a thing, what that could be and that with it. Right now with it, the reason why I do the YouTube videos is because it keeps everything condensed for me, keeps everything on the same platform and that, and I know, you want to build a greater audience, a bigger audience and that with it. But just adding in the other stuff adds to what I have to do, on top of what I'm already creating. So just throwing that out there, I've had a lot of comments and people asking about that. So let me know your thoughts, and maybe I'll try to put something together with that, and maybe even do some polls and see what we can get from that. But I do appreciate every one of you guys who are here all the time, commenting, watching, and are part of this. And so today, shifting towards the XFL, I want to talk about why the XFL this spring and having a 2021 season is perfect for the XFL. I didn't think that the fall was a good situation for them, and I still don't think that the fall is a good situation for them. I really don't think the fall is going to be a really good situation for anybody right now. Things are just so volatile, and I don't mean just with everything we've been dealing for, pretty much the whole year. I'm just talking about right now, just with the political climate and everything hanging in the balance, and all of the stuff that we have been dealing with. It's just doesn't seem like right now things are it's really a good opportunity for the XFL to really try to rush something out there and try to put something out there, a rush product, and doing that's not a good thing. The reason, and this is what I want to go into, why I believe that the spring in 2021 is the perfect place for the XFL to come back. 2021 is the perfect place. Let's set the stage here. Now, I've already mentioned this before, but I want to go into it and lay the foundation as we continue forward with this. So we know that Jeffrey Pollock, in the last days of the XFL, he kept a team of about a half a dozen of them, 7 or 8 people, 9, I think maybe at one point. I don't know. There was just a small group of them that were keeping things going with the XFL, and they were working to get things going. You know, we were getting it confirmed that they were trying to work out deals with the stadiums, and that they had been in contact with the stadiums to keep things rolling with the different stadiums for 2021. We had multiple stadiums come out and say that the XFL had reached out to them and they had been discussing their contracts with them. And we do know that they were looking at both relocation and expansion. Now, so if that's the case, they were putting the pieces in place long after everybody else had gone. And the idea was to keep everything rolling to where with the new owners come, that they can just really pick things back up where they left off and move forward. And so they're really sitting at a good place. Now, why do I feel like the spring is a good place for them to start back up? Well, I feel like that gives them the time to get the pieces in place that they need to. Now, the rumor is right now that this week, now granted we are on Wednesday, so we only have a couple days left, that this week that they were trying to that the coaches were going to know whether or not they were going to be brought back. Obviously, we know that Pep Hamilton won't be brought back, but the 7 others could quite possibly be brought back. So I don't know if they're trying to work coaching deals. I don't know. It's a rumor, so we'll take it with a grain of salt. We'll see what happens with that. But we're supposed to hear that if they pick the coaches this week. My thought with it is you get the coaches back, you get the people back that you can. You bring all the teams back that you can, and you fill in the holes where you can with that. And you take really the next couple months and get that all in order. So you take, try to finish things out for this month and try to go from there. Now, what you do is that you try to bring all the players back that you can. And what you do here, and the player personnel and the coaching personnel are the keys right here. The other things you can work as you get towards the season, and you can kind of put things in place and really ramp up, things of that nature and fill in your gaps and your holes that you need to as you go. But those are the things that are going to make your product the best product on the field, because really, everything else is, ancillary to what's happening on the field. So when you get the stuff on the field, and then everything else that adds to the experience is huge. But if you got this great experience and, you don't have good on-field product, everything else affects it. It reminds me of a sound system. People will buy thousands and put thousands of dollars into a sound system, and then they're like, oh, well, this sounds worse than, our old crappy sound system. Well, the reality of it is that the idea of a sound system is to amplify what is being put into it. So the more money you put into it, the better it's supposed to do its job of amplifying what you put into it, a reproduction of what you put into it. And that's kind of the idea here, is that all the teams around them are supposed to amplify and really hold up the great product on the field, which we had a really good product on the field. And that's what made everything so good and so works so well. And I want to just take a moment and go off to a side tangent with it. And I know that this might be redundant for some people, but some people need to hear that because we're getting new people every day. And I want to get everybody on the same page. A lot of people don't realize that what the XFL did was very revolutionary. It was one of a kind. This was something different than we've seen with any other league and in any other place. What the XFL did with their viewership, they're running better numbers than college basketball. They're running better numbers than NBA, than the NBA was, than NHL was. They were really the top sport in the space where they were. Yes, they were losing viewers as they went throughout week 5, but also the thing that you need to remember is that those first 3 weeks, especially the first 3 weeks, those were on the major networks. And then as they went, week 3, week 4, they slowly transitioned them to cable TV, and then the transition was to, the lesser cable channels. So FS2, ESPN2, as opposed to being on ABC, ESPN, Fox, and FS1. So when you start to factor that in there, those channels, those lesser channels, don't get as much viewership. However, I'm still going to tell you that even in week 5, XFL among all sports broadcast was number 2. It was the number 2 to, I think, a primetime college basketball game. I think it was like a Duke, North Carolina, or it was like Kentucky and North Carolina. It was something. It was too big, and it was a primetime basketball game. Outside of that, though, the average for the week, XFL still number 1. So viewership, the articles that you saw, and that it really skewed things to make it look like the XFL wasn't doing as well as what it was. And if you remember, the media behind it all, I don't understand it. Everything was negative XFL, and I don't know why. The XFL, it never got a fair shot from the mainstream mega media outlet people, and you guys know who I'm talking about. I don't even need to go there. I'm sure you guys will comment it down in the comment section. But so you have that, and the XFL was projecting higher than what they were expected to. They were working on a video game, and their revenues, which people got to see. You can't lie about that stuff. Because of the whole bankruptcy thing with that. We got to see their finances. They were actually projecting pretty well and doing pretty well for themselves. Halfway through the season, they were ahead of schedule. Not only ahead of schedule, but they were ahead of schedule where they thought they were going to be at the end of the season with things. Things were looking so good. When they filed for bankruptcy, big executives in the XFL were shocked, because they had already been planning for a 2021 season. They were already planning on bringing everyone back. They're already planning on expanding to a couple new markets at least, and they were looking to relocate some teams. Hey everyone, trying to give you more content, trying to give you more stuff, and so here we are. I'm in the backyard, and I figured, you know what, I'm trying to cool down from doing a workout, and so I would just give you guys a little bit of behind the scenes in some stuff. So as you can see behind me, that's our pool, and I know it's not much, it's not a lot, but the cool thing about it is that I built it. I've installed it, I put it in, I did it myself. Now I had help from people and machinery and that, and I couldn't have done it without others, but I can say that I installed my own semi in-ground pool. So we'll go ahead and I'll give you kind of the tour of it. So pretty much here's the deck with the pool, and today's a warm day, but right now it's not really anything crazy. But yeah, I got the steps over there, and so here's kind of the pool. What we did is we took, and you can tell I just got it installed this year. The grass hasn't really kind of grown back all that much, but you can tell we put the pool in. So I've got about 18 inches on this side above the ground, and then it just goes with the grade and goes to about 30 inches over here. Now the cool thing is, what we did is I designed everything so that you could go back here. Now I know it's noisy, but here's the filter and everything and all that, and so I've got it all set up back there, hidden out of the way, and so it's the filter, the pump, and our ionization system is all in the back right there. And I will recommend, if you have a pool, I would seriously get into doing ionization. That's I would recommend it. We have saved so much money on product, and that I know it's a little bit more money upfront cost, but the ionization is so much better than chlorine, salt water, any of that, and just makes the water look really nice. There's the deck, and there's our canopy with it, and yeah, still got to get rid of that dirt in the back, dirt mound and that, but yeah, so it's kind of cool. The pool, it's an older style pool, but it's 4 feet all the way across, and I didn't put a deep end in it. Just makes it easier that way. And I also, in the middle here, I put in a little eyelet so that you could run the creepy, you can, which is like,
automatic cleaner on the bottom, and you could also run the sweeper from the middle, and so yeah, that's pretty much it. This is my pool, and I installed it, put it all together. We actually made these corners out of fiberglass, so I was able to. The pool that I got didn't have them, and so we were able to go through and make a mold of it and do it fiberglass. And then those steps were given to us, and the straps aren't very good, and I've been hard time trying to find the straps, so I've kind of had to finagle them. Both of them broke, probably from being old. But yeah, the railings and everything. So yeah, I went through and installed my own semi in-ground pool, and so that's pretty much it. Like I said, there's the deck, and again, here's the profile of it. Here's the steps, and there's the side of it. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the tour of my pool. Hopefully you thought that was a cool little bit, but yeah, it took us quite a while to get it done, but we had it open and ready to go for this season, and we've pretty much been swimming in it since somewhere around late May, and yeah, hopefully weather will stay nice here, and we'll be able to have many more days of swimming. So guys, have a good one. Back to the video.
So when you look at this, this is not a floundering thing. If it weren't for what happened to literally the whole entire world and everything shutting down, the XFL would still be going on and going well. And we would be talking about the XFL. Actually, we might be talking about a lot of these players signing extended deals with the XFL and actually getting paid in the XFL. So from that front, the XFL was doing really, really well. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to pick right back up with this thing and go right into spring. And I think that they need to do that. And they need to listen to Dana White. And if I'm on Dana White's side and Dana White's saying, hey, listen, you need to go for spring 2021, I think pretty good. I'm doing pretty good if I've got a big time sports businessman who's saying the exact same thing that I am, that you've got an opportunity here that you can take advantage of. And realistically, I know that there's still a lot of colleges that are still looking to play football. And I know that it's approaching very fast. And I know a lot of people right now are very upset that there are others who aren't playing college football and all of that. I just don't see it happening. Or I see it happening for a little bit and then us losing them, and that with it, same thing with the NFL. I don't really see it. I mean, so around here, high school football is allowed to play, and they're going to be playing, and a lot of places are trying to move their senior night up to the first couple weeks so they can at least get their senior night in before things shut down, because that's how they're looking at it right now. So looking at that, I think that we're going to have, once things are turning around and we start getting into, after the holidays and stuff, people are going to be really, really begging for the football, really, really wanting their football, because I just don't think that they're really going to get an opportunity to get a taste of that product. And anyways, people love football, and people are always into football. We saw that with the XFL last year. The XFL, even with everything that was still normal with football, there was an appetite there for it. So they're going to have an even bigger appetite that they're going to be able to take advantage of with that. But also, too, right now, they're still way within their timeline, and that's what I really want to look into here. So if you bring everybody back, spend your next month getting all of your people in place and all of the stuff in place, and I mean not only staff, your executives, all of your operating staff and all of that for all of your teams. You get your teams relocated, you get them moved, you get your team from Tampa Bay down to Orlando, you get your team from LA, you move them to San Diego, or you move them to Oakland, you move Dallas to San Antonio, you get things moving, you get things hopping, you get all of your staff back, you get your people in place. You bring the players back. So whatever players that are going to sign back with the XFL, you put them back on the teams. And then you just sit back and you look at this thing and you figure out what rosters people have. And then I think you go through, you go back and I think you do the whole quarterback assign thing if you sign some quarterbacks and do that. And then, mid-October, late October. Doesn't matter either, or you go through, you have another draft like you did. You get everything all lined up. You have your draft, and then you go turn around. You can get things around and get things organized in November. So late October, you have your draft. Get everybody ready in November. You have the holiday. You have training camp. Then you break for the Christmas break, and then you come back and you do spring training just like they did last year. You leave everything in place like they had last year. You don't really change anything, and you don't need to do anything differently. Now, I know to put a whole new league together with new owners and get everything running in such a short period of time, to have everything ready to go, it does take a lot, and it's going to be a lot of work. But I'm telling you, from what they did last year or this year, what they've done over 2019 and 2020 to put themselves in this place, they have set up for this. Jeffrey Pollock and his team has put the XFL in place to do this. They have everything all ready to go. And I would imagine that if The Rock, Dany, and Redbird Capital, if they put some money to it and they put the things together, they can make this happen. They really can. This thing can happen, and it can thrive, and it's the perfect scenario. You bring it back, you get electrifying football, you get these guys in here. The guys loved the league. The coaches loved the league. People are raring to go. They're wanting to come back. You get them back in. You get them back with the teams. And the other thing, too, is this time around, if you bring everybody back, the people, let's say, you bring back 60 to 70% of your staff, they already know the things in place. They already know some things. Now there's going to be some guys you're going to need to replace and things like that. But a lot of the systems are already in place. This is no different than, your turnaround if you hire a new coach. Now, granted, I get it. You hire a new coach, a lot of times you have the whole year to figure things out, to get everything in order and all of that. But if you have most of your people in place already, the only place football-wise that's going to be more of a disarray and disadvantage would be Pep Hamilton's team, DC. But even them, you get everything in place. You get the players back. They know the schemes. You do that. You bring in the newbies. You teach them up. I'm telling you that it looks like a very good scenario, especially with the way that they did it. They came out with a really, really good product. And if you remember, the AAF, because of the way that they were so disorganized, that they had to dumb down the defenses to where you could only rush 5 guys. And it took them a few weeks to really get the offenses and stuff going. I mean, it was really rough. And even at the end, it was still really rough. Whereas the XFL was a really good product in the fifth week. And so as I'm looking at this, I really think that this is the perfect scenario for the XFL. Hopefully we'll hear something in the next couple days. I'm looking forward to it. I'm getting really excited because I've got a series that's going to be coming up that I'm going to be releasing in the next day. So be paying attention, that I'm going to be going through, and we're going to be looking at some stuff pretty cool. So be paying attention, get those notifications on so you can get the notifications, because I think you guys are going to really enjoy this upcoming XFL series that I've got for you guys. All right, that's what I've got. I know it's a lot to kind of digest, and I know it kind of goes in a lot of different areas, but I just really wanted to take some time and give my thoughts on why I think it's the perfect time for the XFL, and that spring 2021 is going to be exciting, it's going to be fun, and the XFL needs to do it, and I think that they can. I think it can propel them to really new and greater heights. I really do. I think that the XFL is going to shock some more people with just how good it is, product-wise, and how well of a business that they run. Those are just my thoughts. The question is, what are your thoughts? You got to let me know down in the comment section, and I'll have the conversation with you there. All right, guys, I know that you're busy, and I know that I'm busy, so let's get on out of here. You have a good night. Bye.